Hi everyone, welcome to the Lilac Broom. Thanks so much for coming by today. So as promised, we're going to do a card reading for the year 2022. Just an overall general, how is this year going to be different from, 2021? And we're going to use the cards to kind of answer that question, as well as if I get anything for specific signs, or if I'm guided to talk about specifically work or finances or money or kids or love or even health, I will. We're going to use my double deck of tarot, and I also have some oracle cards here. We're going to use those too. So you'll probably notice that I'm not on camera, and that's unusual. I don't usually do it that way, but I have been here building my new studio, and the space that I moved out of at home also needed to be reconstructed. So between the busy schedule of that and just other regular life stuff, I am not always really camera ready. So we're going to do it this way for now. That way we can still have that great content that you guys are actually coming here for. And once I can be all beautiful and pretty again, then we'll put me on camera. I usually, for most of my regular monthly readings, I do a 10-card Celtic cross spread. I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to do something a little bit different. Just kind of want to see the overall flow, I think is the word I want to use, trajectory that the next several months are going to bring us. And for that reason, I'm going to do it differently. Okay, so I've got some cards out on the table. I didn't have a set amount of cards that I wanted to put out, just I wanted to have 3 rows, and then we'll pull some oracle cards after. So how tarot works is that with all the options of what cards could come out of the deck, what actually is showing itself is going to tell us the story of what to expect for 2022. So the first row, I feel already immediately, we're talking about energy that's closing out. There's an idea, there's a feeling within the universal energy that I'm picking up on about closing out old cycles, ending things that need to conclude. For some of you, it is work, the 7 of Pentacles. I feel that some of you have been in a career for a very long time, particularly teachers, where something needs to change in the way that you're approaching your work. Okay, and not just teachers, it could be healthcare workers, it could be any field of work, but something about the way that 2022 is going to unfold for all of us is going to lead to changes in everybody's industry of work. No matter what it is, apply it to your situation. And I have to also say that it's not going to be the people coming right out of school and going out to their first jobs. This is going to impact people who've been in a certain field of work for a period of time. So older people who have been employed for 15, 20 years. And the idea of concluding it, this devil tells me that there's a feeling of bondage to these institutions that we work for. Okay, and I think that needs to come to a close. That's what I'm feeling in this energy. It's weird because even this Two of Cups, which is in reverse, it's like the love affair with office work, the love affair with cubicles that we work in has got to come to an end. It's like, I feel that we're all being told, like, it's got to stop. We can't do it this way anymore. I don't know what that means exactly. But look, Ten of Swords. Whatever it is, I don't think that people are going to be very surprised by it. So I feel like some people are probably already seeing, like, wow, the way we do business in our line of work is kind of becoming obsolete because of COVID, or because of, you know, we've seen we can do this at home, or we don't need to do this person to person, or, you know, we can automate a system, and then that makes the people who've been doing certain jobs almost obsolete, because now they would need to come back to the beginning of the process and relearn it and say, okay, instead of me doing something manually, now I need to learn how to program a computer to do these different da-da-da. So it's not the loss of a job, it's that we have to stop doing it the way we're doing it. That could also mean within the work culture. That could also mean within the political culture of a workplace, or a community, or an organization. This could also be about schools. Let's apply this to school. This devil, it's like, are we addicted to the toxicity of the existing institution? You know, what's the love affair? Let's break that love affair with our way of institutionalizing education in this country. And then the Ten of Swords is like, yeah, it needs to just stop. Like, I feel that for the most part, people already know. This line right here is like, people already know. And I keep hearing that. People already know. It's nothing you don't already know. Let's get some oracle cards to help with this message. All right. I like to use my Enchanted Map Oracle deck. They're a great deck. I haven't used this deck in quite a while, actually. Yeah. Dragon's Lair and Going into the Unknown. I feel that the reason why these systems are outdating themselves is because they are too harsh and demanding, and people want to have a different kind of experience of life now. With a new it's almost like a huge swing in the understanding that work or school should not be this demand upon people's time and energy that stops them from being able to do other things with their life, basically. I've got sixes here, the Six of Swords upright, the Six of Pentacles in reverse. It's like, I think in 2022 people are going to find new ways of helping each other communally, or being more independent. So people, anybody who's tuning into this reading, I get the message that you're finding ways to become independent. You know, maybe it's not being dependent upon these institutions. Maybe it's not doing what people normally do. Oh, I'm going out of high school, I'm going right into college, I'm going to get a bachelor's degree, and then I'm going to go to work, and then I'm going to get a master's. Like, there's a certain path. I feel that this is talking about independence, and doing it in a different way. I feel with the Six of Pentacles in reverse, people are starting to find new ways too. In 2022, this is going to be the beginning of a phase of people getting away from asking the government for assistance and money, but again, going back to that independence. Like, more people, I think, than ever before are finding a way that they can generate their own personal wealth without reliance upon systems. This could even be as basic as grocery stores. We're going to grow our own food. We're not as dependent on the grocery store. We're going to make our own stuff. We're not as dependent upon retail outlets, outfits, whatever. The Fool in reverse. Interesting card to have in this row. It's almost like there's going to be another like Renaissance period, you know, that's going to come up and influence the course of events. And I feel like this will happen as soon as March, April, even May. Like, think about it in terms of like when Google and Amazon first hit the world. I feel that they came in and we almost didn't notice. Like for me, Amazon was where I used to buy my used books. Oh, I love my used books, and I would buy them from Amazon and they would be delivered, and that was the best thing ever. Now I buy everything on Amazon. I didn't buy either of these decks on Amazon. Actually, I didn't buy any of these decks on Amazon. Go me. Okay, but you get my point. Yeah, and it's going to put people in a position of deciding, like, are we going to go into the forward-thinking way of seeing life, or are we going to resist, basically? I see a lot of resistance. So what I was saying is, like, when Amazon and Google, for example, first hit the mainstream, it made quite an impact, and not everybody was right on board. Not everybody ever is. But the point, and I think it'll be, you know, what I saw in the first row, like the older people in their 50s, people in their 60s and 70s, etc., are going to have a very hard time adapting to this. Whereas people who are younger than millennials, like our Gen Zers and younger, they will not have trouble adapting to this. This is they're going to usher it in. And they're going to usher it in because of and I cannot emphasize this enough, guys, because of the impact that COVID has had on our lifestyles, on work, on school, on the way we approach these things, on like breaking down a wall that has been there for such a long time, okay? But a lot of people are going to struggle with this. It's going to be very difficult, and it's going to cause a lot of conflict. So the question then becomes like, do you fight it or do you go with it? Well, fighting is never, you know, going to be a yes, let's do that. But I think more appropriately, is this what's best for us, for our society? Is this what's best for our lives? Is this what's best for the majority of people? Because that's who I'm reading for, is the majority of people. The Empress in reverse. I do think fewer people will be having children and bringing in traditional families. I think there's going to be a big swing in people wanting to do alternative versions of families, whether it's communal type living or having pets as children instead of actual children, opting against I don't see the Hierophant's right here. I was just going to say, well, I don't see the Hierophant, so I have to say it's probably not connected to institutions like marriage and religion, but it is. I feel that new developments in the old ways is not going to happen, if that makes sense. If you hear the words I said. Everything I'm seeing is like, okay, we're moving into a very futuristic future. Okay, a very once never thought of kind of future. And it's going to go against what we already know and understand well. I honestly hate delivering these messages. Okay. So, Four of Swords reversed. Yeah, it's going to cause a lot of stress and strain on a certain population of people who won't be able to adapt to it. That's the thing. So I guess the answer to the question I already asked the universe of should we fight it or should we flow with it is like, if you don't learn how to adapt in your own independent way to these changes, it's going to be more difficult for you. But if you do allow yourself to adapt, you will find your niche. But you have to, there's no more like following like sheep. You have to find your own way, basically. That's what's coming. Some people just don't know how to create a dream for their lives. You know, but that's what we're being asked to do, is actually like shut off our televisions, open a book, step away from technology, look deeply into things, contemplation. I mean, we're already seeing a swing towards space travel, so that's going to, you know, continue to emerge quite strongly as the months progress into 2022. But by the summer, so I was saying that, you know, a lot of these shifts will begin March, April, but by the summer, by the middle of the summer, we'll have kind of started to adapt to new technology the way that we did to cell phones. So I'll be curious to see what that actually looks like. I'm not quite sure. I can't really describe it. So we'll just call it technology. All right. So give us some juice cards. Come on, this is all heavy stuff. I like not giving you guys like a common, typical reading, like a love reading, but this commitment card is coming up, and I'd like to talk a little bit about my feelings from this commitment card and Peaks of Joy. I think it has less to do with committing to one other person, like a traditional kind of marriage situation, and more about the importance of falling in line with an organization that vibes with you. All right, so this is about people starting to make commitments based on their value systems. All right, so in some cases, will that lead to love and romance? Yeah, absolutely. Of course it will. Because when you encounter your tribe of like-minded people, there's always going to be the potential for love and romance there, or strong friendships, right? So yeah, I was talking about this Hierophant here. For me, the Hierophant card is the institutions that we already live with. Interesting. I love it. Okay, so it's like halfway through the year, the energy is going to shift back into... Okay, so 2022 is like January, February, March, April, and then we're going to plateau right here in the summer, and then we're going to come back down into a new traditional. I don't know what that means. So if you're confused, so am I. Don't worry. We're all confused here. It's called humanity. It's called being a human being. It's not always clear, guys. But yeah, there's a new kind of normal coming. There's a new normal, and it's going to bring... Like it starts, the introduction to the new normal is like complex, right? But it ends with something beautiful. It ends with the Empress, creation. I can't really emphasize enough about that, like emergence of a new Renaissance period kind of feeling. I feel like this Strength card is just telling me that people, if they're not fighting against what is, they can find ways to evolve themselves. Also, I'm getting a strong indication of being comfortable about being uncomfortable. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. I see something about the way that we think, and yeah, there's that same influence over the same card I got it from, coming apart. It's a feeling of like not understanding why things are changing as they are, but that's how it's supposed to be. I can't help but feel like there's some kind of like restructuring of communities, restructuring of relationships, restructuring of family units or work environments or even schools. I think schools are a very important place where we're going to see this. Schools and workplaces. All right. And it's going to feel very unusual, but understanding that we're choosing a new direction. Like this compass card makes me immediately want to say it like that. And I love this card because I've been feeling like I should say more about like healthcare. And I don't know if that's like my own ego wanting to bring it up, but I can't help but notice like the nurse uniform here, and then we've got, and it's on top of the Hierophant. Like, this is a breakdown in hospitals. This is a breakdown in the medical system, and not a breakdown like it's broken, but just more of a breakthrough, like healing the ouch. Like, we're going to come up with new ways of doing things that are not like they were before. And then these people who, you know, were working in industries that have served their purpose can be retrained how to do these other things that are emerging. So hopefully this makes sense to you guys, what I'm saying. 2022 is going to be sort of like a renaissance period. And some people are going to come through as the artists, and some people are going to come through as the writers, the thinkers, the, you know, public image of what's coming down the pike for us. Technology is going to play a big role in it. And people breaking away from the old ways of seeing things, thinking of things, doing things, everything from the way that we go to school, the way we work, the way we structure family, all of it is coming up for evaluation in 2022. All springboarded by the events of 2020. Kind of makes me think like, it kind of makes me ask the question, like, where were we for all of 2021? Like, did we do anything? I don't even know. Did we accomplish anything? Because 2022 is where it all seems to kind of, like I said, it's going to come up, it's going to plateau, and then it's going to ease into a place where it is all a lot more comfortable, and where people start to understand where they fall in the new way of things. That was kind of crazy. I liked it, though. I hope you liked it. So this has been your tarot card reading for 2022, general reading for everybody. I hope you guys love it. Please reach out. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your input. And if you want a private reading, I'm certainly excited to do that for you. And I'll consider doing some January tarot readings for the different zodiac signs if time allows. And it'll have to be in this format, guys. I know you all want to see my beautiful face, but maybe in February. Okay? Thanks, guys. Namaste.